This is like these moments just put me to sleep. So like a beta and an up-to-date version, can you combine two complete softwares together?
Okay, let me look up right now.
You can ask Steve. He's talking about like two like .exes though, like two executives. Like one thing when you take an old world and you try to update it to the modern world. Is that what you're talking about? Taking the old world and putting in the modern world? Hello. Ooh. Woohoo. We'll go ahead and
Talking about Minecraft.
Oh, David has a question. I mean, David's in a space to answer questions. Who is? Oh, the little baby. You guys went to go see
Okay, test.
Oh, hey David. All right.
Hey.
Ask away, Char.
I have a question.
Yep.
Can you combine two versions of Minecraft?
I'm not quite sure what you mean.
Like, combine 1.6 beta to a version of Minecraft where it can TP negative numbers.
I'm not sure what your goal is still. Are you like trying to use mods from an older version, or?
No, I'll show you I'll show you if I figure it out.
So he watched a video.
Hey, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it, bro.
All right. I guess.
Okay.
I guess I will see.
I can't very well help if I don't understand what the goal is.
The goal is to teleport to the void. To find something. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh. Okay. Well, in pretty much every version of Minecraft, there's not anything to find in the void but death.
Oh, you'll see something. That's true.
Let's just say he watched a YouTube video that has told him otherwise.
Ah.
I want to see if it's real, okay?
Pretty much, he's been bamboozled.
I'm trying to see if it's real. I don't know. We don't know if it's fake.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you, it's fake.
Man,
All right. Well.
How you doing, David?
Doing all right. I'm home currently on my laptop, and yeah, just chilling.
Nice. How was pipe digging?
Faster than expected, but you know,
That's good.
digging a deep hole.
You guys were able to isolate the was it like a pipe going to like to one of the
One of the exterior pipes had broken.
mhm.
So, yeah, as such, water wasn't getting to the house, and well, it was not good. Let's put it that way.
Did you come home to a lake?
No, because by the time we were able to get back, yeah, the water had already been shut off, and yeah, some draining had managed to be done. So.
Mm. Well, after we
Alright,
go through
anyways,
stuff.
yeah, so Char, if you're wanting to quickly get yourself to the void to check for whatever's in there, you have a couple options. Yeah, most of which involve turning on cheats in order to breach a way to it.
I know how to teleport to the void. I just need to combine beta 1. Or just find a way to get beta 1.6 to allow me to teleport into the void with negative numbers.
Oh, well, that shouldn't be too hard at all. Do you have the correct version of Minecraft already?
Yeah, it's the newer version and the 1.6 beta. Installed both of them.
Okay, well, all you really need to do is start up the game using the beta version,
Okay.
create a new world, make sure cheats are enabled, or in creative mode, either way.
It doesn't say I can go into creative.
Okay, then make a single player world with cheats enabled, and then just use the TP command to warp to the void.
Yeah, but I need to do it on 1.6 beta because that's apparently and cheats were made at that time.
I'm not sure if that's the case, but let me double check.
I mean, like, I can show you what I mean, like, after me and Corey do reading, if you have time.
Alright,
Hi, Logan.
Yeah, we can read. Yeah, so Broheim has the mic away. We're gonna
Alright.
do our reading section so that he can boot up Minecraft and test. What the heck is right there? Okay. No, it almost looked like one of those like big red storage units.
Boy, in the middle of a national park.
Oh.
Bye, Logan. Youth group.
All right. We read that one. All right. King G is for amazing. Thank you that for this delightful day that we can have delicious chimichangas. We can just engage these fun visual arts the way that they just challenge us. Minecraft with its open world, with its raw material that you can take to you can take it to new worlds, to new boundaries. Or, you know, Final Fantasy where it's just showing us another thing of the human condition and them trying to wrestle it out in their own worlds. And now we look at how you operate in the world. We thank you, King Jesus, that you show us that right ruling, loving the other is laying it down when we can, and always being ready, wrestling with how that looks. Thank you, King Jesus, as that's how you rule. Thank you that in that, by that self-giving rule, death cannot hold on to you, and you resurrected. You now share life now, while I look forward to the future, beautiful, full flourish life, when all crooked is made straight. Wonderful awesome name, amen.
Knowledge.
The weak and the strong. Romans chapter 14, verses 1 through 6. Welcome someone who is weak in faith, but not in order to have disputes on difficult points. One person believes it is all right to eat anything, while the weak person eats only vegetables. The one who eats should not despise the one who does not, and the one who does not should not condemn the one who does, because God has welcomed them. Who do you think you are to judge someone else's servants? They stand or fall before their own master, and stand they will because the master can make them stand. One person reckons one day more important than another. Someone else regards all days as equally important. Each person must make up their own mind. The one who celebrates the day does so in honor of the Lord, just as the one who eats does so in honor of the Lord, since they give thanks to God. The one who does not eat too is abstaining in honor of the Lord, and likewise gives thanks to God. And so now we're getting into the crux, a lot of that Gentile-Jewish tension. So remember, the Jewish people were kicked out of Rome. Yep. The Roman powers got annoyed by them, and so they kicked them out, and then Nero, at the very beginning of his rule, he welcomed them back. And so the Jewish people, the Jewish Christians left, and then they came back to a church setting that's very Gentile, not Jewish. So they're probably eating pork sandwiches. Pork sandwiches are amazing, but for someone who follows kosher dietary practice, like our friend Ethan, that's not cool. And so now he's like, all right, so you who have the freedom, you lay it down, let go of your power, your duminus, to welcome the other. And then both parties, the one who abstains, like for me, I consider every day holy good because of the work of King Jesus. People who practice, and there's Christians who think Sunday is a very special day, and they do a lot of practice around Sunday. And there's people who think the Sabbat, so Friday at sundown to Saturday at sundown, think it's a very special day. And so, and here he has like both are clingers of the Lord, and the Lord's going to lift all up. Yeah, that tent actually that helps with the scale.
Like if that tent wasn't there, I wouldn't know if this is a lake or a
Yeah.
pond. Also, then I'd have to go back. Oh wow. Thank you, tent. All right.
We have a friend whose son is a vegetarian. She has described to us today how she has learned to cook special meals for him, and what sort of compromises with the code he has been prepared to make. In today's Western world, vegetarianism has become a serious option for millions. Restaurants now routinely offer vegetarian options. This was almost unknown when I was young. The ancient world knew about vegetarianism, too, but often people took that option for quite different reasons to those we think of today. Hardly anyone in Paul's world thought it cruel to slaughter animals for food. Most people at the time lived very close to the means of food production, whether animals or crops, and thought no more of killing a cow or a pig than of picking an olive off a tree. No, the reason why some people in Paul's world, certainly the ones he's talking about in this chapter, became vegetarian was because they couldn't guarantee getting the right sort of meat. So people who have or are practicing vegetarian because because they see the death of the animal and it makes them sad. But in the ancient world, you know how we talked about like how Ethan doesn't eat pork, right? Because he follows kosher dietary law. So today we generally know where our food comes from, but but then like there was like later Paul's going to say it's okay for you to get meat at the market, even if it was from an animal that was sacrificed at a temple, because meat's meat. It doesn't matter where it was slaughtered or killed. But in the ancient world, not knowing where you got your meat and knowing that maybe it was part of a temple rite, and I'm talking about temples that don't worship Yahweh, like it's a sacrifice of Zeus or like some sort of other Aphrodites, like all these other gods in the ancient world. Like a lot of the meat in the market was from those temples that after the animal is slaughtered, they'll be selling at the market. And so just for people who are being super careful not to dishonor their God in their practice, not to dishonor Yahweh in their practice, that so they will only eat only vegetables, kind of like Daniel. Because you remember the story of Daniel and the three. Okay, well, we need to read Daniel then. How about Romans? We read Daniel because it's very important, especially for as we read more and more about Jesus. Let's do it. So yeah, Daniel, he did not want to eat from the king's table because most likely there was lots of pork, and so they asked to become vegetarians. Like it's just a practice to honor God. That's right. But here Paul is going again. So here Paul is going. The people who do that, awesome. People who don't do that, awesome. It does matter. It's a good place if you can talk about it, but don't condemn someone who's serving Yahweh.
It doesn't matter if you're eating it.
Yeah. Well.
But it matters when you do something bad.
No. Well, it matters because it's good to get if people are in the place where they can actually have good, honest conversations. Because I disagree with people who practice kosher laws. Like Ethan and I have disagreements all the time. But again, when he's in my house, I welcome him in, and then we don't let that disagreement go into condemning. Yeah, we don't. And this is where Paul, because me, actually, I have, within this practice, I have the most freedom. Because I can honor any days. I can eat whatever foods. And so for me, I'm letting my dunamis, my power, I'm reigning in my power to serve him. That is where Paul is like, his King Jesus had all the power. He had all the dunamis, and he laid his power down to serve the other. And this is where we're getting. All right. Most people at the time lived very close to the means of food production, whether animals or crops, and thought no more of killing a cow or a pig than of picking an olive off a tree. No, the reason why some people in Paul's world, certainly the ones he's talking about in this chapter, became vegetarian was because they couldn't guarantee getting the right sort of meat. Would it be pure? Granted, they were allowed to eat meat. Were they allowed to eat this meat? Had it been slaughtered in the proper manner? Had it been cooked in the right way? This is similar to the problem Paul faced in 1 Corinthians, but perhaps with a further twist as well. There, the question had to do with meat that had been offered to an idol, that is slaughtered as a sacrifice in a pagan temple and then either served up in the adjoining restaurant or offered for sale in the market. No devout Jew would dream of eating such meat. Many of the early Christians, too, having been regular tenders at pagan temples before their conversion, and knowing full well the kind of lifestyle that went with it all, avoided anything that reminded them of it. That was the context in which Paul insisted equally. So here's Paul keeps on repeating. You ready? Yeah. That since God was a creator, all meat was good in itself, and therefore could in principle be eaten. And B, that if someone else's conscience was being hurt, even those who had a robust conscience about eating the food should abstain from doing so. So So this is where truth is. The truth is that Yahweh is the creator of the heavens and the earth. So all meat is fine. Like you're not compromising. And this is again where my friend and I will disagree, but I'll say from the plain reading, Paul is saying that no food you compromise. There's no compromise in whatever food you eat. B though, the compromise can happen though is if someone's hurt by what you're eating and you do it in a way that robs their conscience. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like it's really a person by person. That's what being community is all about. Like when I go overseas, let's say, yeah, when I go overseas, I am going to lay down my privileges, my freedom for the other. Like when I'm going to be with people who come from, like I'm trying to witness to people, say, who are Muslim. They have a halal diet, which is very close to kosher diet. Like I am going to, again, I want to be among their midst and tell them about Jesus. I don't want to start in a place of offense. Because when you start in a place of offense, people generally don't want to listen to you. All right. In the present chapter, that discussion has broadened out a bit. Probably include those Jews who would become vegetarians in practice because in their part of the city, they could not guarantee being able to get meat that had been properly slaughtered according to the kosher laws laid down in the Bible and interpreted in Jewish tradition. Unless there was a proper Jewish butcher available, it might well have seemed the wiser course to abstain not only from pork, as Jews would anyway, though pork was the cheapest and most readily available meat in that world, but from all meat of whatever kind. What is fascinating about this whole chapter is that, though it seems clear that the issues Paul is talking about are things that would have divided Jewish Christians from Gentile Christians, he does not say many Jewish Christians don't eat meat, and many Gentile Christians do. For a start, there are plenty of Jewish Christians, himself included, who were what he calls strong. So there's that word strong, dunamis. So this is Paul's word. He says, like, Christians who have a strong conscience, they're strong. That is, who had worked it out and settled in their mind that all food were now clean. There were probably some Gentile Christians too, like the ones in Galatia, who in their eagerness to avoid the ugly memories of their pagan background had embraced not only the Christian ethic, but the strict Jewish rules as well. But there is a deepening reason, I think, why Paul simply says some of us who do it this way, some of us who do it that way. His reason, are you ready for clincher? All right, his reason, I think, is that he is precisely trying to break down the walls which the early Christians so easily put up between people of different ethnic origin. If he said, oh, Jewish Christians do this, Gentile Christians do that, he would simply have been reinforcing the barriers he was trying to get them to forget. It's only in chapter 15 that the underlying agenda becomes clear. And then at the point where he is appealing to them to worship together. For the moment, he is trying to educate them to look at one another, not as, oh, he is Jewish or she's Gentile, but as fellow servants of the same master, fellow disciples of the same Lord. And I say you could take this actually a lot deeper. You see a lot of breakdown between individuals who call themselves Baptist, Reformed, Church of God attendees, Assembly of God attendees. We are all servants of the same master, fellow disciples of the same Lord. In fact, the word for master and Lord in these verses is the same. So even when Paul is using the metaphor servants and their master in verse 4, he is already hinting at the point he makes in verse 6 and will continue to make again and again throughout the passage. What we are dealing with in this passage is in fact a direct consequence of Paul's doctrine of justification by faith, which he has of course expounded at length earlier in the letter. Jews and Gentiles who believe in Jesus are welcomed equally because of Jesus' own achievement in his death and resurrection. They are marked out solely by their belief that he is Lord and that God raised him from the dead. Chapter 10, verse 9 to 13, a passage which Paul seems to be echoing at various points in this chapter. They must therefore learn to live together without looking down their noses at one another and implying for a moment that God is more pleased with one style of behavior than with another. Paul does not seem to be suggesting here that there was in Rome a problem of the same magnitude as the one he had faced in Antioch. But that might be only because the different Christian groups in Rome were scattered and not even attempting to come together for meals or worship, whereas at least in Antioch they had been doing so. Nor was it only food that was causing the potential problem. It was the keeping of holy days. Pagan societies kept special feast days and holidays, of course, but Paul is probably referring to Jewish practices. And actually, our same friend, he actually practiced Jewish practice. That's why last week he had work completely off because it was the week of tents, the day of tents, so day of booths, and so he literally slept in his backyard in a tent all week. Yeah, it's actually a Jewish practice. Yeah. And so some Christians will keep the major Jewish festivals, others will not. For Paul, it had become a point of indifference. What matters was that whichever decision you made, you did what you did in honor of the Lord. Someone today who lounged in bed on a Sunday morning claiming that Paul said it didn't matter would, I suspect, get a sharp retort from the apostle. And so we don't let just the fact that individuals like Paul who say who have a strong conscience and they have that freedom, we don't let that freedom go into self-gratification. Yeah. It is always within. We always are teasing out, and everyone needs to wrestle what that means for them. We're always teasing out, like, how can I serve my brother and sister in the faith? How can I serve my community at large? That's the point. It's like we need to get out. We need to get all these easy profile distinctions that we easily put ourselves or we put others in. So what is the situation in Rome, and what does Paul expect them to do? By starting off with the instruction to welcome the weak in faith, he seems to be assuming that most of the Christians are strong, probably Gentile Christians, quite likely people who had been converted through his own work further east and had now traveled to Rome. Some people in that category are named in chapter 16. Those people, it seems, would have agreed with Paul that a Christian could, in principle, eat anything. By weak in faith, he doesn't mean that the religious devotion of this group is thin and watery, nor does he mean to imply that they have a shaky grasp on the basic points of Christian faith, or a wavering belief in them. His point, rather, is that they have not, so you ready for clincher? So, again, when we say strong and weak, he is not talking about like they're weak and clinging to Jesus. So this is his point. You ready to hear his point? His point, rather, is that they have not worked out, or not as fully as he and some others have done, the consequences of believing in God as creator and Jesus as the crucified and risen Lord. For Paul, believing this meant that all foods were now clean, as Mark chapter 7 points out that Jesus had implied. And that, though keeping holy days might help devotion, a Christian was free to observe special days or not, provided this was done with the desire to honor the Lord. Paul continues to develop this argument in the passage which follows, but for now it may be worth taking a minute to ponder possible parallels in our own day. At what point in today's church are we in danger of judging one another because of things that Paul would declare to be indifferent? What are we prone to build walls of division on cultural or ethnic lines where Paul would gently but firmly insist that we are all serving the same master? Master! Master! All right. We can start, my friend. And are you still there, David? Or did he jump ship in middle range? Oh, he jumped ship. Do you still want to talk to him?
Yeah. Oh, come on, bro. I just quit. So whenever I create a new world in 1.6 beta, all it gives me is the name and the seed.
Oh, let's just get this ready to share. We're gonna.
I'm sorry. If you said something, you got cut off before you got to.
Yeah. So I am going to connect so that you could see his screen. And when you're done, please log out. So, click there. Click there. Click there. There you go. And then hit share. You can still hear. You don't need to unmute. Hit share right there. Left. Right there. Share. Screen. There you go. Go live. There you go.
Yeah, this is all it gives me. In 1.6 beta.
Oh. Huh.
All right, and to confirm, this is the old version of Minecraft. Yes.
Yeah.
That's weird. I guess for some reason, did you mute me? Or just whenever I connect with the other account, it mutes actually my account. So I have the two accounts, my alt, but for some reason, whenever I connect on that one, it mutes my current one.
It looks like the muting and deafening is on your end because it's not on mine.
Huh, okay.
So this is all it gives me, and this is the 1.6 beta. And then if I go to get the new version, it'll have a lot more options.
Okay, well, the new version isn't what we need, so
And I'm gonna show you what I'm trying to do real quick. I may forget how to put on. I'll try
right. So it's the TV command. So other than just dying to void damage, what's the goal here?
I can't figure out how to get to it because I don't have 1.6 with this version.
Well, hold up. You said that you have the correct version installed. But you're just playing on the wrong one at the moment.
Yeah,
So let's switch over to the correct version, because we're not going to do any good in the wrong one.
so I've got the 1.6 beta.
Yes.
Okay. That was new.
Yep. All right. Make a new world. Alright.
Like like I can't do commands. Like won't pull up. Like and there's no like. Oh, it's T.
What was it? Hit escape. Okay, options. Actually, it's possible that it just doesn't need to be set. So, done. Select done. Get back to game. And we're just going to set something. Get slash.
Like chat won't work.
Okay. Yes, just
Hmm.
okay.
What am I gonna like leave? Sorry.
Just leave chat.
Yeah, it doesn't
Just yes,
work.
open chat.
I'm pressing it and it doesn't work.
All right then.
Yeah, it's weird.
Okay, sounds like we're going to want to back up. So, yeah, save and quit. Single player. Create new world. And okay, so there's no options at this point. Cancel. Cancel. Multiplayer. Okay. Yep, cancel. And to confirm, it is version 1, 0.1.6. Not version 0.6.
Wait, do I have the right version?
Okay, so it. Yeah, I want to confirm. What is the specific version you're supposed to be doing this on?
1.6 beta.
All right. You're currently on version 0.1.6.
0? What?
Oh,
I'm on 0?
wait. Well, that's what it looks like it said.
It does say beta 1.6. It doesn't say any 0.
Well, all right. In that case, I suppose we'll just need to figure out another way. Let's see.
Dude.
I don't know if
You're
it'll-
asking the wrong person. You're literally in chat with right now with the person to ask any Minecraft related question. I may have bought Minecraft back when they all bought Minecraft because getting Minecraft at the steal back when it was in alpha was like 100% worth it.
I'm gonna try something real quick.
All right.
And they may have made a mistake. I don't know if I'm on the wrong version because I can do this. What? Yeah, like that was a command. And I can use TP in this one, but I can't use TP in the other one. And in this version, I can't even eat the golden apple. So like,
Well, that's because you're in creative. Yeah, that's because you're currently still in creative mode. And in these older versions, they didn't bother letting you eat in creative. Because, not much point, normally.
that dude. beta version unlocked. Do you have any ideas?
I'm currently doing a smidgen of research to see if I can figure it out. Okay.
What do you think? Because he's taking his time to.
Thank you.
Really, we leave for a long time.
So that looks like a system that would take quite a bit of setup, but
What did
could
Mom?
very good as a whole.
Give her something?
This is a post-redstone version. It's like pistons don't exist on 1.7. So we're out of luck there.
David,
Yeah?
is it possible to combine two versions of Minecraft?
Not really, no. Not the way you're thinking of at any rate. Oh, wait, what? Ah, nope, that's for old alpha versions. Oh, actually, we could still use that, though. Okay, so, in the video you watched, how did the video maker get below bedrock?
Use the same command that I did.
I see. Then if this is a version before commands, then we definitely have the wrong version. Or he's just a lying liar who lies, but that's the boring answer.
Maybe it's 1.6, not 1.6.
On the video, they did tell him to download something on MediaFire.
They didn't tell me to. It was the Reddit link. They didn't tell me to.
In the video, though, don't they say something about like downloading a zip and how?
No, they just said, the dude said, I'm not trusting you with another .zip, bro. And then the Reddit post just had a link to the thing that I think he used.
Hmm.
Like you are swimming in the void again.
Swimming, swimming.
Melting.
But how are you doing back home? Is it nice?
It is.
What's up, Roheim?
Now, it was somewhat unfortunate that, like, the day after we dealt with the whole pipe problem,
Mm-hmm.
I got sick because it turns out I caught something from the train. Yeah,
I'm not
still
surprised.
have a very runny nose, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Rob and I were just noticing how not sick we have not been since Bailey's been out of daycare. It was one of us is always down with something the 2 years that she was in daycare.
one heck of a disease vector.
Yep. Does Mom Linda still make the hot tang?
We didn't this time. Could have though.
Anytime I'm sick, I always desire the hot tang. Oh, something new, strange, and foreign to me until, you know, till
Okay.
living with you guys.
That involves pistons. It's too new for what we're trying to do.
I was talking to Logan earlier today about like the pantheons in Final Fantasy, and pretty much it comes down to the crystals. The crystals.
Crystal! Yeah. And dragons. Crystals and dragons.
Crystals and dragons.
Alright, well, at this point, I'm just curious what exactly you're hoping to find in the void.
It's where your wishes come true. Did you figure it out? Think you figured out? You're gonna make me eat my words? Because for such an island to exist in the void, that means it was the original developers who have inputted the island.
Hmm. But for an island to exist in the void would require the game's data structure to support the existence of that island. It doesn't. The game just doesn't save data below y0 or well below y -64 in newer versions. Are you perhaps thinking of the inn? Because that yeah, it's not in the void. It's elsewhere.
So I'm like on like the last day to keep on working on the story on Final Fantasy, David.
Yeah.
So Dark Fina is no longer. And now in the party I have Reincarnation Fina.
I see. So, Charlie, I don't understand. Why are you trying to teleport into the void, then trying to teleport again? Charlie?
Well,
But
your microphone was away, so he didn't hear you. He was talking, but
Right.
he forgot his microphone wasn't in front of him.
Alright. Yeah, I would just like to know why you're trying to teleport into the void and then trying to teleport again instead of
wanted to
teleporting
see-
directly to you.
I wanted to see if I go deeper, I can maybe go so deep that would work. I don't know.
Right, well, the teleport you're using uses absolute coordinates, so your location at time of teleport doesn't matter.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like if, just as an example, if you teleport to 0, 80, 0, you will appear in the same spot regardless of where you put in that argument.
That's definitely a weird generation.
Are you still sick?
A little. Like I said, still have a stepped up nose,
Oh, okay.
but the worst of it has passed.
Yeah, there's a new Carol Gardens.
Sorry, Charlie, but it
Doesn't seem like it's gonna
it,
work.
it looks like you were lied to.
I knew there was a chance of that.
Which is sad. Actually really irks me when these videos come out like, look, I found a new thing in this thing, and really it's a downloaded mod and they're playing it as something made by the actual developers.
I mean, it's one thing if they say, check out this new thing I found. It's a mod. But if they say, check out this new thing I found, and they don't say that's because they changed the game, that's scummy.
Do you see that Path of Exile 2, the early access got pushed to December?
I didn't see that. That's a bit of a shame. Looking forward to it.
I guess it gives us more time to get to deeper in the inner games content.
True.
What I do when I want to disconnect.
So first, hit that, and make sure to say so hit disconnect. There you go. You can tell them how you feel, how the call went. There you go. And then click out. You don't have to respond. You just even click out. Then hit the user settings. Scroll all the way bottom. Log out. Thank you. How long are you going to be in this side of the mountain? Are you now doing your West Coast tour where you're here through the winter?
Yeah. I mean, I have no reason to get back to Illinois anytime soon. So until something changes, I'm probably going to be over here.
Do you think you're gonna just try moving back until you land something? Like just gather your stuff and make the haul back?
Depends on how things shake up, but possibly.
That'd be cool. You know, the selfish in me would be really happy for that.
Yeah, well, I would happily get moved back to where everybody is too.
All right, are you done talking to David? Okay, well, we'll just make sure that he went out of his way. So say
Thank you.
and say thank you and goodbye. Because I'm muting you, so that's pretty much you saying goodbye.
All right.
All right.
Goodbye.
Yeah, and I'm still here. You don't have to disconnect, but
Actually, I was going to hop off anyways.
Oh.
Want to get some food and stuff.
okay. Alrighty, well,
It's nice talking.
it was. I'll see you, I guess, at the latest Friday.
Yeah. Love
but
you.
yeah. Bye. When I thought the story was over. All right, after that game, we gotta go through step. So after, nope, after that game, we gotta go through step. Yeah, and I have to do a reading step. That's fascinating. Get me.
For thousands of years, every morning and evening, Jewish people have prayed these, or more often in a shorter form, Lev. Now, different cultures throughout history have had different conceptions of how the human body works, and this is also true of the ancient Israelite writers of the Bible. They knew that the heart was an organ in the chest that sustains life. There's mention of a heart attack in the Bible, Naval, whose heart died inside of him and he became like stone. But the biblical authors talk about the heart in many other ways that might. So the heart is where you think and make sense of the world, and it's where you do more. In the Bible, the heart is where you feel emotions. You feel pain in your heart, like Hannah did when she couldn't have any children. In fact, the phrase a broken heart comes from ancient biblical Hebrew. You also experience fear in your heart. Your heart can melt or be distressed. Your heart can even be depressed. But then on the flip side, your heart is where you experience joy. In Hebrew, to be happy is to be good of heart, or to have a heart of joy. So the heart is the generator of physical life. It's also the center of your intellectual and emotional life, and there's more. In biblical Hebrew, the heart is where you make choices motivated by your desires. So David had it in his heart to build a temple for God. Your heart is where your affections are centered. They're called the desires of your heart. And if you really want something and go after it, it's like what Nathan said to David, whatever's in your heart, go and do it. So then, in the Bible, the heart is the center of all parts of human existence, as in the well-known proverb, guard your heart, because from it flows your whole life. Now, the prophet Jeremiah believed that the human heart was fundamentally broken. He said, the heart of a human is deceitful above all, irreversibly sick. Who can even understand it? He had watched a whole generation turn away from God. They started sacrificing their children as if that were a good thing. So this is why, in the imagination of the Hebrew prophets, the only hope for humanity is the total renewal of the human heart. Moses predicted that if Israel was ever going to love their God, their heart would need to be circumcised, which is a very vivid and surprising metaphor about removing evil and stubbornness from the human heart. David, after he committed murder and adultery, pleads with God to create in me a pure heart. The prophet Ezekiel hoped for a day when God would remove the heart of stone and give his people a new heart of soft flesh, which is very similar to Jeremiah's hope that God would write the commands of the Torah on the hearts of his people. And that brings us all the way back to the Shema. Every day, God's people are called to devote to God their whole body and mind, their feelings and their desires, their future and their failures. This is what it means to love the Lord your God with all of your heart.
All right, what's the theme of the video? Heart, right? Hebrew is live. I think I said it right? Live. And so, did the ancients have an understanding of how like our brain works? For the ancients, they really believed that the heart. Yep, the heart is because it makes sense. You think you feel deeply in your heart when you're angry, when you're happy, full of joy. That release, you feel it in your chest. So it just makes sense that without modern science. Yeah, and so when it becomes like the word for your entire being. Like, we got to change our desires towards King Jesus. Our desires are moldable. All right, friend, we can start. Nice. It's closing. At least I've heard in the. I thought they're closing all the servers, but they're actually closing. Just guess non-Japan. And so hence I'm continuing. Got like only a few days. Either I think only a day left now. What's up, Kyle Metal? Ah, darn it. Ah, darn it. Meant to phone. That works. Okay, I'll be back. Gotta use the restroom. What do we get here? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, seems like I might as well since I'm not getting any shops and I'm swimming in money. It looks totally modern. Actually, let me look. The actual, like, it's Roblox. So, what I'll say.
What the heck? It's got one.
So it looks like it's an everyone against the alien kind of thing. Looks like other people can be aliens. Yeah, it's humans versus aliens. Oh. Make sure they get the little one that's on the ground. Yeah, it's definitely humans versus aliens. Those aliens are acting like humans, like human players. It's kind of it's like your fur game.
Nuke status.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's how you win, is by unlaunching the nuke and the aliens are trying to stop you.
Not to stay.
Looks like it's still going. Oh, actually. Press M to open the menu. You spectate. Hmm? Yeah, either you're the humans or the aliens. I think you're just waiting for the other side to get their stuff ready. My guess. So you'll spawn in next round. All right. I think it's time to think of wrapping things up. You ready? All right. That person has no chill. Me. Uni. The time wizard. So just literally just cast stop.
Ah!
Right. Alright guys. See you when I see you. Don't know. I'll probably not be able to finish that. You know, I did enjoy it for the time being. I may watch a YouTube video, but But like how life happens, it just keeps going. So we have to be okay with these narratives to let them keep going and not knowing everything. Bittersweet. So we'll see if I actually get to play some more before it closes. But anyways, peace, friends.